24-25 school year.
My name is Ella Malliot and I am the President of Student Council.
And my name is Miley Brooks and I am the Vice President of Student Council. We are so excited to have you and we hope that you're excited to come too.
We hope that at your time here you can get involved in as many activities as Shoreland offers.
Welcome to Shoreland and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Miley and Ella. I'm President Paul Scriber. I join them in welcoming you to the 2024-2025 school year. I look forward to working with them and the rest of the Shoreland team in creating a learning environment where every student has the opportunity to maximize their God-given gifts and abilities and benefit from the Shoreland experience. A Shoreland experience that will be Christian. For us, that means it's biblically grounded, Christ-centered, and gospel-driven. Our school year theme this year, Watch with Confidence, will be a year-long focus on the fact that God's Word is the ultimate truth. A Shoreland experience will also be quality. Highly qualified teachers with a passion for helping every child succeed and programs designed to maximize student learning and growth. All of this wrapped up in a safe and caring environment. You'll find kind, caring, and friendly student leaders, faculty, and staff who will serve you by reflecting the love of Jesus. Other videos in this series will explain more about the school year. Please view the videos prior to attending the orientation night. Administration team members will be in attendance and available to answer any questions that you might have. We're looking forward to seeing you on either August 8th or August 13th. May God richly bless the partnership that we have in providing this Christ-centered and family-focused learning environment for students at Shoreland.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Shainfeld and I'm one of the two school counselors here at Shoreland Lutheran High School. I'll be talking to you a little bit today about what a school counselor is and how we can help you along your journey. First of all, some of the school counselor roles that we can help with are academic planning, career counseling, or career planning, and counseling. Mr. Gauger, shown in the picture below, is going to be the main school counselor for freshmen and juniors. I am mainly going to be the school counselor for sophomores and seniors. However, with that being said, that does not mean that any student cannot come to either one of us, depending on the topic or the need that they have. Mr. Gauger used to be the director of academic support, so he knows a lot of our students already, and he's going to be a wonderful addition to our student services team. First of all, the academic planning portion, I'd like to talk about how a student may be saying something like this. I'm not understanding pre-algebra at all, I'm racking up missing work, and it just feels like I'm going to fail. Well, first of all, you have to let someone know as soon as possible. Mr. Gauger and I and the rest of the academic support team will help search for students who are maybe struggling or getting certain grades or missing work, and we will look for those things, but we want to know early on so that we can help you. We might ask some questions about how are you organizing your materials? How are you keeping track of assignments? Are you using Google Classroom or a traditional assignment notebook? We would also encourage wonderful resources like the After School Learning Lab on Mondays through Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. held in our C Center. There also are options for peer tutoring, which you could talk to Mr. Gauger or I about if needed. Next, I'd like to talk to you about what happens in academic planning if maybe I am struggling a little bit. So maybe I didn't talk to anybody and now it's 2 weeks before Christmas break or a month before, and then I come and say something like this. I'm still not understanding pre-algebra. I have racked up 8 missing assignments, and I have an F in math and a science as well. My GPA is now a 1.5. What do I do, Mrs. Shainfeld? Well, there's a couple fail-safes, a couple helpful things that we have in place here. Guided study hall is a big one, which will be run by Mrs. Olson, who's a new person to our staff and will be taking the Director of Academic Support role that Mr. Gauger used to be in. Mrs. Olson will be looking for students specifically who have 2 or more Fs, or maybe under a 1.85 GPA, or have 5+ missing assignments. However, any student can be pulled in if deemed necessary. And you may return to a general study hall when your GPA, grades, or missing work are fixed. So you don't have to be in there forever. It is just plan to help you get on track. Eligibility for extracurriculars like drama, sports, anything else that would be done outside of school hours, your GPA does need to stay above a 1.85. We always check it at the end of a quarter, and you may be deemed ineligible by the academic support team, meaning you wouldn't be able to do those extracurriculars. Eligibility is needed for those, and if you have questions about that, that would be something you could talk to Mr. Gauger or myself about. Next, we have the career planning, which is one of my personal favorite things that I get to do as a school counselor. You may be coming in and say something like this: I have no idea what I want to do after high school. I'm just a freshman. What do I do? It's okay if you do not know, and that is normal. However, one thing I'm going to say a million times before you graduate is grades do matter right away. From the day you walk in, you want to be giving your best. If your best is A's, wonderful. If your best is P's and C's, great. But do your best and ask for help with the resources we have. If you fail a course, it's a little different than grade school or middle school. You may need to take it again to be able to graduate at the end of senior year. For example, if you fail an English class or a math class or something of a core course, you may need to do it again. You do not just get to keep going. Career planning tools like Zello can help you narrow down career options and find the best path to meet your goal. We will be doing specific Zello days where you will be instructed in these lessons to help you figure out where do my interests and my God-given abilities intersect. And then also, how can I use the classes that Shoreland offers, like fine arts, trades, business, PLTW, anything else to match your interests and help you figure out what you may want to do after you walk across the stage. Lastly, counseling resources that we have here are really important, and that's another big portion of what Mr. Gauger and I do. So you may be saying, hey, I've really not been feeling like myself lately. There's just a lot of things going on at school and with friends, and I'm just really overwhelmed, and I just do not like talking about this stuff. First of all, any conversation with Mr. Gauger and I are conversation by choice. That is not something where we will say, hey, you're seeming really out of it. Do you want to talk about it? And if you say, no, I'm not really feeling like it, we'll say, okay, but just know you're welcome back anytime. It's not something you'll be forced into. Short-term counseling is what we offer, Mr. Gauger and I personally, for a variety of topics: academic, social, emotional, other struggles. We are not long-term clinical counselors. We may be contacting family depending on the topic and recommending long-term counseling by a professional clinician. You can schedule a time to meet with us anytime though, and you can set up a meeting in our email signatures, or there's also a QR code around the building, or just come and talk to me or Mr. Gauger. Lastly, if we do talk about something and we're saying, hey, maybe a long-term counseling situation would be the best route, or your family sees a need for that, you see a need for that, we do offer virtual counseling sessions. The first 3 come cost-free to Shoreland students through Christian Family Solutions out of Milwaukee. If you have any questions, please reach out about that. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you walking through the doors in a few short weeks.
Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Groh and I am blessed to be your athletic director. We are super excited to get you in the building and to get you started on all the different teams and opportunities that we have here at Shoreland this year. Last year was one of the most successful athletic years we've ever had, and we're looking to build on that success this year. One thing I do want to remind you though is that no athletic season can start unless you have turned in your proper medical paperwork. So please make sure that you have that done before the first practice. Let's start in the fall. We start with football. Football looks to build on a great family atmosphere that they started and looks to have one of their most successful seasons in years. Don't necessarily want to play football, but you want to be there on game nights and be a part of the action? Then why don't you look for Coach Lenz and join the cheer team and cheer on the boys as they play each Friday night. The boys soccer team is looking to defend their state championship that they earned last year as they get kicked off and will have an amazing run and a great schedule and lots of home games to come and check out. The boys soccer team has JV and varsity teams. Shoreland-Lewiston High School is also looking to make history this year as we will be starting our very first tennis team. The girls hit the court this fall as well, and that will start on August 13th. Last year, our girls volleyball program had the best record in the conference. Girls volleyball is one of the most popular sports for the girls. We have nearly 40 plus girls trying out each and every year with JV2, JV, and varsity levels. Talking about having great success in conference, we have to talk about our cross-country teams, as both the boys and the girls last year won conference championships, and they look to do that again this year with your help. As we turn our attention to the winter, we also have some amazing opportunities for you. We, of course, have boys and girls basketball, as boys basketball will field 3 different teams that will hit the court, and the girls will have 2 teams, a JV and a varsity. Last year, our boys wrestling team won the conference championship, but the real exciting news last year started when we officially declared ourselves a school that had a girls wrestling team. And we sent 3 of those girls wrestlers to the state tournament in Madison. So wrestling is a great program. Coach Recker is taking over this year, and we look to build on the success that they started last year. We also, during the winter, have a dance team. Similar to cheer, the dance team will come in during the girls and boys basketball games, and they will perform their routines at halftime of certain nights. So if you're interested in that, please come and check out the dance team. Moving on to spring, we have lots of opportunities for you to take part in. The first one will usually be girls and boys track and field. Last year, not only were the boys conference championships, they also won a regional championship. And a member from the boys and the girls went to represent us at the state meet in lacrosse and the pole vault last year. So they have great success, and we hope to see you there, helping out with the track team this year. We talked about the girls tennis team in the fall. The boys have a chance to make history at Shoreland this year as our boys tennis team begins in the spring. Along with that opportunity, we also have the girls soccer program, which had nearly 40 members this past year. We'll have a JV and a varsity team on that level, and we look to continue our success that we've had over the last few years. Speaking of success, our softball team, though it was small last year, was mighty, and they made it 1 game away from the state tournament in Madison. It's a great season for them. They could use your help this year to put them over the edge and send them to the state tournament in Madison. We also have our baseball team, which last year was really big, and we had almost 3 teams. We're looking to have 3 teams for baseball this year, JV2, JV, and varsity. That only happens if you come out and you help to make that happen. And don't forget golf. Who wouldn't want to go and golf every single day in the spring? You could do that by joining the boys golf team. By the way, we don't have a girls golf team, so if you are a girl that wants to golf, we will certainly welcome you in the spring to be a part of that boys team. Let's say you're not necessarily into athletics. Well, there are a couple of other opportunities that we're going to be talking about in this video. Mr. Growth talks about a lot of the fine arts and the clubs that we get to have for the kids here at Shoreland. But I'm going to tell you about 2 in particular. The first one I'm going to talk about actually just ended their season at Nationals in Ohio this past week. And they did a fantastic job, and that is our trap shooting club. Trap shooting has a number of different events that you can be a part of, and it is unique at Shoreland. It is the only club that has middle school involvement as well. So if you're interested in the trap shooting club, Coach Gessel will certainly welcome you into that. And the last one I want to talk about is a great one for all of the students here at Shoreland, even though it doesn't involve all of the students directly. It is our student government. You want to be a part of the student council and help lead our school, whether it's getting ready for homecoming week or working in the coffee shop 3 mornings a week, or just planning great events for the entire student body, please consider going out for student council and being part of Ms. Papalardo's amazing group. Now, the upperclassmen have all been set for student council, but if you're an incoming freshman, there will be an opportunity early this fall for you to be voted in as a member of the student council. I just want to remind all of you, as I wrap this up, that high school is what you make it. You can go to school, have a great time at school, and when 3 o'clock comes, you can head for home. And you'll have fun, you'll learn a lot of great things, and you can have a great high school experience. But if you want to heighten your high school experience, I would ask that you please consider to join one of our great clubs, to join one of our teams, and make high school an amazing time for you by just trying a whole bunch of different things in these 4 years. High school goes really, really fast, and we hope to see you on the court, on the field, in student council, or even on the shooting range. We hope to see you soon. Thanks, Pacers.
Hi, my name is James Grove. I'm the head of the music department here at Shoreland, and I'm going to talk to you about music and other extracurricular club activities that you have the opportunity to participate in. At Shoreland, we pride ourselves in 90% of our students being involved in at least one activity, and more than 75% of our students are involved in 4 activities. So if you want to be involved, we'll find a place for you. I'm going to talk to you about the music department today. There are several different performance opportunities that you have. 4 different groups that you can think about joining. 2 choirs, the chamber choir and the concert choir, along with a chamber orchestra and a concert band. In addition to those curricular groups, we also have extracurricular music opportunities involving handbells, jazz band and pep band, and chapel musicians. If you like to be on stage, we've got several drama offerings for you. 2 different productions, one in the fall and one in the spring. This year's fall musical is High School Musical, and the spring play is Clue on stage. We also have behind-the-scenes activities like Stage Crew or AV Tech. If you like forensics, we have a forensics team that participates in a variety of competitions all across the state. We also have a variety of clubs that you can get involved with at Shoreland. National Honor Society, Students for Life, and HOSA are a couple of the service organizations that we have. National Honor Society is for juniors and seniors primarily. Students for Life is a group that serves to promote life. HOSA is the Future Health Professionals organization, and they're involved at the state and the national level. We also have a ministry club for students who are interested in seeing if the ministry is for them, for both pastors or teachers. We have a very successful VEX robotics team that participates in a variety of competitions across the state and the nation. We also have chess club, math club, or Spanish club if you're interested in any of those groups as well. SL Lights is an organization designed to implement Shoreland to students who are from different countries. Tom's Party Section is a great way to get involved with supporting the athletics here at Shoreland. And if you're interested, we even have volunteers working at the coffee shop. We want you to be involved in your school. We want you to find a way to see how God has blessed you and what you might do to use your talents and gifts at Shoreland. Students, parents, welcome to Shoreland.
Hi, I'm Daniel Nolte, and I'm the Technology Director here at Shoreland Lutheran High School. I'm going to be going over a few items related to technology, specifically Chromebooks and PowerSchool. All students at Shoreland are required to have a charged Chromebook at school every day. This device does need to be a Chromebook. It cannot be a Windows or Apple laptop. It also still needs to be receiving updates. For any Chromebook manufactured within the last 4 or 5 years, that should not be a problem. However, if you're trying to use a Chromebook older than 5 years or so, you will probably want to check with me to make sure that it's still receiving updates. Other than being a Chromebook and receiving updates, there are no other minimum requirements, so you can get as cheap a Chromebook as you want. That being said, however, students often have a better experience if you get a Chromebook with slightly better specs than the cheapest models. For example, more RAM, a better processor, a larger screen, or a touch screen often result in a better student experience. Students attending Shoreland on a Wisconsin School Choice Voucher do have the option of borrowing a Chromebook from Shoreland. That Chromebook is a basic model, and it does need to be returned to Shoreland during the summer months. All Chromebooks used by students at Shoreland do need to be enrolled with Shoreland. This is done during one of the 2 orientation nights in August 8th or 13th. Once it is enrolled with Shoreland, it can only be signed into a Shoreland account, and it will be filtered and monitored for internet content. Explicit content will be blocked all the time. Most social media and non-educational websites will also be blocked, but only during school hours. If a student forgets their Chromebook, we do have rentals available for $2 per day. If a Chromebook gets broken or damaged and needs to be repaired, we will waive the rental fee if you can provide documentation that it is getting fixed. If a student forgets to charge their Chromebook and doesn't have a charger, I will provide a free charger to them during the school day. However, they do need to trade their cell phone for it. Please be sure to label your student's charger with their name so that if they misplace it, it can be returned to them. Finally, all parents and students want to be sure that they get access to PowerSchool. PowerSchool is Shoreland's student information system. It provides detailed information about the student's schedule, their grades, their attendance, and other information. During the mailing in July, all parents should have received a letter containing information explaining how students and parents can get access to PowerSchool. You will want to make sure to check for that letter and get connected. If you have any issues at all getting connected to PowerSchool, please let me know. I'd be happy to assist you. You can call, email, or just stop by and speak to me. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to stop by. I'm looking forward to a great school year.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to school at Shoreland Lutheran High School. Whether you're a returning parent or whether you're a new parent, we're here to provide some information for you as your child enters the 2024-2025 school year. My name is Paul Strutz. I serve as the Dean of Students. So basically that entails some attendance issues and then behavioral issues. One of the first things I want to share with you is our attendance policy. First of all, Wisconsin state law and legislation requires that all students are in school. And as a result, we expect our students to be in school at a regular basis. We also understand that at times students are sick or something comes up at home. Basically, this is our attendance policy. If a child should miss 5 sets, in other words, so 5 class periods of a particular class, for example, 5 algebra classes, you will get a letter from me kind of stating that, hey, your son or daughter has missed 5 class periods, and just kind of a heads up. At 8 misses or absences of class, Mr. Kessler will either call you or send you an email as well stating that, hey, you're at 8. Now we're a little bit more serious. If a child should miss 10 sets or 10 class periods in any course, they will no longer receive credit for class. If a student should miss 20 full days in a school year, the administration at Shoreland Lutheran High School reserves the right to recommend disenrollment from Shoreland Lutheran. So if you should have any questions about attendance, please don't hesitate to call or ask myself or Mr. Kessler. Moving on, another issue that many of us are well aware of and that we use daily is our cell phones. We do allow students to have cell phones here at school. We ask that when the students come into classroom, we have, we call it our phone hotel or a caddy. Students are asked to put their phones in the caddy during the course of the class, and then at the end of the class they can pick their phone up out of the caddy, use it during passing time. They're welcome to use it during lunch. But during class, they're here to get an education. So we ask that the students keep their phones in the caddy that are provided in the classrooms. Moving on. Although we would hope and pray that the school year would go without any glitches or hitches, we know that also the devil works pretty hard, not only with our students, but with our teachers as well. like to lead us into temptation. When that occurs, here are the ramifications for students. We have divided the behavioral issues, if you will, into certain levels. Level 1 would be an example: a child is being a little disruptive in class, or it's somehow interfering with education. Typically, the teacher would call that student out and say, "Hey, Johnny, can you sit down?" Or, "Johnny, you need to be quiet and pay attention," so on and so forth. And so a personal reprimand in class, I would probably be made aware of that as well. The second offense, which could be a cause for a detention, would be the child is caught cheating on an assignment, maybe some vandalism to school property, disrespect for authority, whether it's here in the building, to their coaches, or possibly to a bus driver, or a repeated violation of the dress code. Level 3 would be a cause for immediate suspension. That would be someone would be caught stealing something, someone threatens to harm someone verbally, there's a physical altercation of some type, or maybe vandalism in school or some type of harassment. Level 4, which would be cause for immediate disciplinary action with a suspension and possibly expulsion, would be the use on campus of alcohol, beverage, controlled substance of some type, or vaping in the building. Also, the use of or possession of drugs, or some drug paraphernalia, the use or possession of a gun or knife here in the building, vandalizing school property, recording a fight or being involved in a fight. Finally, our disciplinary procedures are as follows. The first offense for an individual that would be caught vaping in the building. That's become unfortunately quite popular as well. The first offense is a 3-day suspension, and the student is also required to take an online class and then have that company that they take that class with share with us that the individual has indeed passed the class. There's also a fine which the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department will administer due to vaping in the building. Second offense of vaping in the building is disenrollment from school. Depending on the nature of that vaping offense, a student could be disenrolled for a minimum at least the remainder of the current semester and possibly the subsequent semester that follows. Those are our disciplinary issues, or disciplinary actions, excuse me. If you have any questions, I'm the one that you should call. You could also speak to Mr. Kessler. I mentioned earlier that if a student would, let's say, be reprimanded in class or receive more than 5 tardies in a semester, they'll receive a detention. Detentions are typically held on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 3:15 to 4:30. Students are expected to adhere to those times should they have a detention. Dress code, we do not have uniforms. For the most part, most of our student body adheres to the guidelines that we ask. I'm going to highlight a couple. First of all, we ask that students have their hair colored in a natural hair color, modest length, and well groomed. For young ladies, we ask that all tops be at collarbone height. We also ask that there's no see-through tops or bare midriffs. Miss Holly Barr is our female dean of students, and Miss Barr takes care of any dress code issues with females. We also ask that some of the clothing that the kids wear, that they refrain from political messaging, any beer, alcohol, drugs, or double meaning messages that may be shown on a t-shirt, vulgar language, guns or messages promoting guns, skull and crossbones, gothic related items, professional wrestling related material, and music related clothing are not allowed. Yoga pants and leggings may be worn, but with an appropriate length dress or skirt. They may not be worn alone as pants. Students may not wear running, jogging, spandex, or tight-fitting shorts. We also ask that students dress in conformance with their biological gender. During the day, no hats, caps, skull caps, bandanas, or hoods should be worn in the building. Our dress code policies, if a student is wearing something clearly defined in our handbook as a violation, they'll be asked to change and they'll receive a detention. If a student receives a second dress code violation, they'll be asked to change and receive a 1-day in-school suspension. Third dress code violation is a 2-day out-of-school suspension, so they'll spend it at home. Fourth dress code violation, they'll be asked to change and a 3-day out-of-school suspension. And a fifth dress code violation will cause them to be disenrolled. Finally, social media. It's ingrained in our society. I'm sure many of you parents are very possibly on a social media site or use social media, and I'm sure the kids do, as well as, or as hard as we'd like to control that, we really can't. It can be somewhat disruptive, especially on the school environment. So if there should be some situation where you'd like to see school step in and try to help, we're more than happy to try to help. However, we can't guarantee that we can come to a resolution. We would appreciate that our school social media behavior would be positive and defending our neighbors, speak well of them, and taking words and actions in the kindest possible way. However, we know that's not always the case. Should you have a concern, feel free to share it with myself or one of the administrators or one of your child's teachers, and we'll try to look into it for them. But unfortunately, we can't promise that whatever is going on will be will be dealt with and will be done. That's all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and God's blessings on your son or daughter's school year.
Welcome to Shoreland Lutheran High School and a new school year. My name is Mike Kessler, and I get to serve you and your family as principal here at Shoreland. In this section of the video, we'll cover 4 topics: the daily schedule, homework, academic integrity, and conflict resolution. The school day begins at 7:45 a.m. We view punctuality as being important, so your student should arrive to school with ample time to get to homeroom on time. If students are late for homeroom or miss homeroom, consequences of Tardy's policies apply. This schedule shows beginning and ending times of class periods in our regular schedule. If your family needs a copy of our bell schedule, you're invited to pick one up on orientation night. Students are in school to develop the varied gifts and abilities that God has given to them. Therefore, as students complete their homework assignments, they do so putting forth their very best effort and energy to give God the glory. We are reminded by the Apostle Paul that whatever we do, we work at it with all of our heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. The policy is that students are to complete their work and turn it in on time. In the event that students turn work in late, teachers will communicate what their processes will be for receiving that work late during the first days of class. Different courses may have some different processes. Lab-based courses like STEM or science, or project-based courses like art and the skilled trades may have some specific procedures. It's important for families and students and teachers to communicate about missing and late work. Generally, students have a couple of days to complete missing or late work. However, understand that work needs to be turned in promptly. If it's not turned in promptly, students may receive an incomplete. If an incomplete is not resolved by the end of the semester, students should expect to receive no credit for that course
for that semester. Our goal is to assist your student in developing the gifts that God has given them. Sometimes the students get stretched to grow. They seek to take shortcuts and cheat along the way. Our policy is that students should complete their own work and do their best work. God reminds us that hard work is a good thing. It brings a profit. Should students cheat, consequences follow. Generally, those consequences fall into two categories: minor offenses and major offenses. Minor offenses involve poor understanding of proper citation technique, unlikely intentional, indicates temporary lapse in judgment. Major offenses include things that are premeditated and other people may be involved. Consequences vary depending on the nature of the violation. At level 1 offenses, those will result in a warning and documentation on the student's record. A level 4 will result in a fail on the assessment and possible disenrollment. Complete details of this policy may be found in the Parent, Guardian, and Student Handbook. Our hope is that the year is free of any kind of conflict. At the same time, a school is people, and people tend to have conflicts every once in a while. So, should a conflict arise throughout the course of the year, we'd ask that you follow these guidelines. Always seek to resolve conflict at the lowest level possible. Reach out to coaches, directors, teachers, when you might have questions or concerns. After initial conversations take place, the circle may expand to include others. For academic oversight and program, curriculum instruction, reach out to the principal. For high school post-secondary planning, reach out to a school counselor. For student life oversight, including conduct and discipline, reach out to the Dean of Student Life. For athletics and activity-related concerns, reach out to our athletic director. Again, I look forward to serving you in this year to come. May God bless your family richly.